Okay, so, hello guys, it's me, Gaming Star here, and today I am back with another episode of The Greatest Attorney 2 Resolve. Last time, we had basically finished up the 4th episode. We done the final full-fledged investigation. We have another investigation as well, but it's gonna be much shorter later, but this is basically the full-fledged investigation, last one. So we finished that up, and we also found out some big revelations. Let's just say. And this time we're gonna go ahead and do the trial. We're near the end of the road. Final episode. The resolve. Just get out of order, shall we? Here we go. The final chapter. Right here. Final stretch. It'll be like probably a few hours for me, but let's go. Here we go. We're at the end of the road. So, the time's finally come. Today, so unravel everything. I'll be counting your support more than ever today, Mrs. Sato. Mrs. Sato? Ah! Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruto? Nothing. I'm just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, I know I can rather be incompetent at times, but... I shouldn't let you down. Would you mind helping me on my feet, then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. Suzuko-san isn't her usual self at all. It was hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out her father is the partner of a world-famous detective, not to mention. Good morning, sir. Hi, Van Zeeks. Been a while. Lord Van Zeeks! Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. It's just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zeeks isn't a Reaper, Mr. Naruto. Good point. The Reaper, I suppose, in hindsight, I should have allowed the misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tactic acceptance of the pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all of this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because serious crimes in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling me that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. Oh yeah, we heard of this one too. That having been slain by the evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned to some sort of demigod to wield a deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, cannot. Yes, we hear that story too. Heard that story. When I lost him. I know the feeling. Trust me, I know the feeling. I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured by an over-imaginative public. He was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now, tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Oh, hi! Oh, Edie's! When did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Harley loves it. He says it helps him clear his head. I thank you. Oh, that's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Edis. Oh? Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not. What happened yesterday? She's still playing in her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled having stolen the autopsy report from Dr. Side's laboratory. Alright then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? I thought you wanted to watch his proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots of... Oh, getting ready. Get ready for what? Oh, yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that usually dangle in your knapsack? Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley and that I made once. A Hurley? Looks more like Harley to me. If for some reason you're completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull it a little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. Okay. That's gonna be important. Trust me. No, actually, legit. Trust me on that. I know what you're thinking right now. You're gonna be like, wait, what? Wait, what? It's just a stupid little lucky charm. You will be surprised. You think I'll need his luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom, and it seemed very different to normal. Yes, it would seem. There's certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? Lord Strongheart. Oh no! Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this, because I know what's going on. What about Mr. Schoenzides? I don't know. He was out outside and he'd come home late this morning. Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikatova all night too? Do you think, Mrs. Otto? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently he didn't come back from his room last night at all. They, Father and Judge Shigoku, I mean. Judge Shigoku too? That's right, nobody appears to have seen him either since yesterday. Wow. Counsel for defense and the defendant? Court is about to be in session. It was before room at once. Alright. We're gonna have a long journey ahead. Good luck then, Reno. Good luck, Susie. Yes, thanks, Hades. And you too, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well. Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing. Oh, I'm so glad. You must go inside now, Lord Van Zeeks. Alright. Woohoo! Boys, it's gonna be one hell of a ride. Lord Van Zeeks, my passage of fate, has always been a formidable prosecutor of lords of the court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Bryn all these months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day. To this one trial. To this one final reckoning. Let's go. Whew. Okay, so this is gonna be one hell of a trial. This is gonna be one hell of a case, and I'm not even kidding, and I mean it. Like, really though? These few trials, holy shit. A long one. Trust me, it's long. Oh, no judge. It's odd. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Ah! Mr. Nanahodo, look! Holy shit! Lord Strongheart! Oh, sweet God. Kazuma must have known beforehand. The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, the events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system. Good. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent lawful shooting of this man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree. Also, by the way, okay, keep track of his hair. Why am I saying this? It gets an interesting little detail that I really like to point out. You know, like, notice his hair throughout the trial. Take a close look at his hair. You know, like how it becomes more and more like twisted and more like messy. Also, by the way, I love his gavel. You'll see what it is. To the close trial. And over which I, Male Strongheart, as a unicorn, exercise total equivocal authority. Isn't that kind of, you know, authoritarian? The six jury flames just... As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to the fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your accolades, Lord Strongheart. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zeeks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. unicorn gavel. And name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Oh God. I love this trial. For the trial of Brock Van Zieks, Van Zieks officially stands accused of murder. Counsel for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a son to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice. Mr. Daley Vigil, who would have been given the inspector's identification, and presented himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. And that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, where in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories at the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation, or PTSD, because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he outbidded the convicts escaped. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He recovered enough to give signed a statement about his movements a day prior to the incident. He has formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed the suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This is based on largely the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Rasogi. I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st of October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated... There it is! There it is! But this time it's actually a good one. There it is! Updated autopsy report includes amended details. But the official opinion investigation team was made clear yesterday that the time of death was 5 p.m. on November 1st. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. Oh, you lying! That's bullshit, you lying. The refrigerated device is a part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before Fresno Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities? Scotland Yard put enormous effort into investigating the precise matter yesterday. What? I think we should begin by presenting the results of the investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now. Hi, Gina. State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade reported. Representative of Scotland Yard. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina again. What's your problem, Lodo? What's with that Gina again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone's ever did. Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean? He got me out of the back slums in the East End and took me under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all out of the goodness of Greg's heart. Not at all, as I twisted by Mr. Sholmes. No. What's relevant to his proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed the victim was carrying out some assignments that the police knew nothing about. Very troubling. That face, Lord Strongheart knew! Oh yeah, he knew, bro. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in the report. Obviously he would have known, I mean. He is he is very important after all. He is basically up there in the ranks, so it makes sense why he would know. High rank, you know. Come right up, sir. I almost sound like Luigi, but I'm trying not to sound like Luigi when doing Regina. That's my problems sometimes. Victims' movements. Oh yeah, the detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned out with a notebook and had a lot of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't done out yet. What matters most is there's witnesses who saw the Reaper at that place too. Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? Just telling you what is written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, all goods flow into London in legal channels across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of these black markets. It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. Someone in his court! No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of investigations being leaked to involved parties. That would explain why he was operating in his own authority without the Yard's knowledge. And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room at a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. On that day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter. That can't be! We haven't heard anything about any of this! Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Barack Van Zieks, was present. That would be very significant testimony then. Oh my, but... Lord Van Zieks has made no mention of this, at all! In short, Lord Van Zieks has the full opportunity to murder the victim. Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination. You get pissed. I'm gonna do it, okay? I'm gonna be fast, jeez. Bro, stop getting pissed on me. Some smuggled goods. Hold it! Do you have any idea where the dealings were taking place? Yep. It was all ended in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at Gentleman's Club. What Gentleman's Club? Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used against smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked to reveal the name of the proceedings. I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's right there. All I've got to do is read it out loud. And I could too. I've got the reading game buttoned up now. Oh, you finally read. Can show you what can I do. That's what's the odd. The judge has no rejection yet. Gotta try to find out. Should I insist? As is close court, proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possible information being leaked. As I explained, there's possibly I can't read. Possibly a politician being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord, the prosecution has no objection. Oh! Cosmo? There's no question Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established there was a particular trial on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of making a... Oh, yeah. Look, you can tell Strongheart's kind of shitting his pants a little. He's kind of going like, right then. I get to show off me reading skills. Apparently, a smuggled good deals were going to happen in a gentleman's club called the Grouse. SS Grouse! Objection! I've read about the clubs exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? The Grouse? I'm hearing Goose's theme right now in my head, I swear to God. The police are currently looking for evidence, and we haven't found anything definitive yet. I'm picking up the Groosey boy, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm sorry to say, but they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I have a feeling. I think the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irrelevant attitude towards our country's police force there, Council. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A gentleman, then! A steamship. You think it's a ship? Oh, I know it's a ship. I have the evidence to prove it. Here! Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is always in the trust, right? The other side! Well, look. Be just like next time. Sorry! Ah, this would appear to be a ticket for passage upon the steamship, yes. The SS Grouse. Grouse or Grouse? How do you pronounce it? I'm saying both, because fuck it. So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived at Port Dover on November 1st. Ah! The day on which the sound like the gunshot was heard in Francis Street. The other words. The day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was his clandestine mission. The ship hadn't docked in British shores! That would certainly make undercover investigation somewhat challenging. The fact that the steamship hadn't reached Britain yet substantiates the defense's assertion the victim was investigating SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence of assertion! Very well. Ooh, boys. In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence of witness the victim was in the group. So let's go to Gregson's trunk. I forgot to examine this last time because I forgot to examine this last time. But let's go to Gregson's trunk. We forgot to investigate this. I seriously forgot to investigate this last time. I was going to, but I forgot, so let's do it now. Oops, my fault, but let's go. Here we go. Notice this. It's a little luggage. Look, something inside. Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport to overseas. Or there's a trip abroad. It's part of tells. What is it? It's for a trip. It's October, day before. Ooh, there we go. We got a passport. Went to France the day before. And then there's this. Have you seen these gash inside? The trunk has got a layer of metal. Gosh, it's just rather damaged. And this. Oh, there's blood on the side too. No, there's something stuck on the side of the linting. It's rendered metal, so I just entirely can't remove it. Cut yourself, figure it out. And then we have blood on the side. Look, dark stain here. You think? Yes, I'm afraid it still is blood. Ugh, I'm sorry. If in the scene, Inspector Rex has logical conclusion. Yes, do you think Regina's been carrying cameras around? Do you find any better? I suppose fish and chips. But yeah, keep this trunk in mind. So now that we have the passport, let's present the passport. Date of departure, port of Dunkirk, France. Purpose of travel, police business. Permission to applicate one additional person to travel. So, passport.
Take that!
What's this? A passport travel issue to the victim. Dated October 31st. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just day before the inspector's body was discovered, he was on a trip. There's a distinct possibility that he wasn't even in the country. Unicorn gavel. Order. This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have officially authorized. The day before, I'm trying to say order. I'm just saying order because it's so used to it, so it's gonna be a bit weird for me. The day before, SS Grouse arrived at Dover. It docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, it was on board the port of Dunkirk. Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed with your skin out of huddle. Certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? The prosecution strategy for the trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings with a London club. That's the outcome of the Scotland Yard's investigations, and the line of prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecution's office is trying to hide something. What? And now that you've explicitly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal that I believe there's something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? I love you. According to the form of the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? It was. The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question. was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. The Reaper? Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand! And the Reaper is revealed to be Gregson and an entire organization that Gregson led. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper! So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. Barak Van Zieks never carried out any actual dealings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. You? And you claim that it was Inspector Gregson. What the hell do you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never have done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way that the person giving him all these orders was Lord Van Zieks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. That's for sure. Barak Van Zieks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the ban. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that went aboard the SS Grass on the assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh, you have solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, counsel? Absolutely. It's very simple. Undeniable question. Nobody was killed aboard the steamship! Professor Mikotoba and Judge Goku were on the very ship. If somebody had been assassinated, certainly would have heard about it. But what if it was a secret? What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported aboard the steamship. But I think perhaps you've missed a point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. Gina Lestrade? Eh? What? The victim's notebook you read excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper at the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all them blunders got to taken out of the coming. The boss, what is the Reaper? Poor Gina. She's grieving. There's no question that Tobias Drexel was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing. I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't... I concur. The witness will give an informal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. Okay, here. Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up in the past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff. And the last entry is there is 31st of October. It said grouse for the place and the date, and then the name of the mark. There was a note of I'm being criminal what got away the Reaper in court 10 years or somewhat. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all. Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here. This must be so hard for her. You can't deny now, surely. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the final mark and location where assassination would take place. Information that the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper. Ah! So, those must be the final mark. Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st of October. Eh? Oh, How do you read this then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, Rayodo. It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read. Someone from overseas? Let me see if I have bashes. Sashiro. Oh! Oh! Yeah, Sashiro. Oh, you maybe? What? It can't be! Shashiro Jigoku? But that's Chigoku! Shashiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name. You're right, Japanese, in fact. But that can't be right! I know Chigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday here in London! I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated! As I said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But here's the thing. Hold on. Chigoku wasn't even in the... But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the inspector. Personally. That I don't believe. The Reaper, of course, is being the accused. Barak Van Zieks. It's an undeniable logical argument. There's some holes. Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Oh, yo! My boy! It's the child! Yes! The leg! The leg, boys! The leg! Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice whilst I stand accused of murder. I love you! Lord Van Zieks! The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. Yo, that girl is no detective. Eh? What? Nah, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector. Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of the trial will go exactly as you clearly planned. Oh, your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper who sent your father to the gallows those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself by attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony. What did you say? Ooh, Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance. Yo. Thank you, Van Zieks. My lord, the defense requests the defendant allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to testimony given by the witness. What are you gonna do with that gavel? What are you gonna do with that gavel? Are you gonna stab me with the unicorn gavel? You're gonna find my dead body in the alley next day. Very well, I'll make an exception to grant the request. The defendant may remain the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin cross-examination immediately. Here we go. At once, my lord. The Reaper's Notebook. Here we go. Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of info about what the Reaper got up in the past 10 years. Names of victims, dates and places and stuff. In the last entry is that 31st of October. It said grouse for the place and the date and the name of the mark. There is no of it being criminal got away with it. So, let's go over... Now that we have his input, let's go ahead and press the first statement. Let's press statement. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper. No, you're all. It ain't the only explanation, is it? They could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and the notebook said it would be found. If I may. When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed the power to imitate London's criminal class into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What are you about? On about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals on the top of their game. There is simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization. With you in its head? No. I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I had been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse? Believing it to be referring to the Gentleman's Club, I went there and didn't question investigate alone. Ah, that explains why several members of the club claimed to have seen you there. But of course, the inspector was not there. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France. It shown that the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then. Back to your testimony about the constant notebook. Fine. Something wrong, Miss Note? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago. Oh, no, it's alright. It's not big into our name. Alright.
Hold it!
Next. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff. What in particular? Well, beside the victims' names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? It's the one I told you yesterday, the same name written over and over again. You mean... Assassin. Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or somewhat, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? Assassin. The assassin. I mean, her name is literally Assassin. What, like, a killer? You mean? Gregson was a tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get to them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? Yes. If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Ah! Then perhaps what it says in the passport document. Permission to applicant one additional person to travel could additional person have been. Clearly the assassin who was sent to take Shishido Jigoku's life. Gina, can you confirm that? Against the final entry that listed Grouse and Shishido Jigoku, what name was written? Oh, well, this only entry is have a name next to it. What? It's just add like a question mark or something, I think. A question mark? In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not? Oh, how infuriating. I think I know who it is. A nameless assassin. I have a feeling.
Hold it!
And you're saying that the mark listed was Shishido Jigoku? That's what they said. Funny name, if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd. So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court Judicature. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago, studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Strongheart was Judge Jigoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now. 10 years ago, after the fateful case. Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his reparation was organized immediately. Well, he broke the stand. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook. I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in here has got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking.
Hold it!
What do you mean a criminal? Judge Jigoku is no criminal. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jigoku did once appear in court here in Britain. It was related to the professor case, I'm sure. Yes, of course. You're right. But he broke the witness stand, didn't he? Shishido was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some competence words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Yeah, so he was basically charged for talking shit about the government. Okay. Talk shit, you get arrested. It was a pitiful situation. Yes. I had forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted our trial too, as it happens. You did? It was considered to be a due to the professor's proceedings, you see. But he was acquainted after being told with preparation and damage caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused had forgotten his own rule. That the no saving anyone faces a Reaper, court, guilty, or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Jigoku was targeted for assassination? The man was sent back to Japan immediately after the trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see. just how vindictive the Reaper is? Come on, that's absurd. To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which this man operates are beyond the same person's comprehension. But... Objection! Right, I just had about enough of this. Gina? All of this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's cobblers. Come on, Otto. Yes. Why aren't you saying nothing? Why? Why aren't you yelling out objection or something? What? You gotta find the flaw. You do usually. Someone's lying here. No question. You gotta work out who it is. Please, but no. The outburst was an insult to the court in your own testimony. I might have known that the common pickpocket from back slums couldn't make a good detective. When this trial is over, you'll forfeit your warrant card, Mrs. Trade. That's clear. I've had it with you, a lot of you. It's lies in a bleeding place, look in the water, didn't it? Well, I've had enough. Gina. Aw, so have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Mr. Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that doesn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Oh, do you mean? I'm not going to let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. It's the last statement. Come on, Otto, help! You got to find the flaw somewhere. But wait, let's go back to the luggage, shall we? Open this baby up. You notice this little thingy. So this here, notice that. It's kind of weird, isn't it? So let's press the last statement, shall we?
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. Eh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency? Really, Otto? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's inconsistency. Something was said by Kazuma. To be honest here.
Take that!
It's Kazuma. He's lying here. By you, Kazuma Asogi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering counsel? Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. And when I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you realize what you've done. Very well, counsel. Go ahead. What evidence reveals alleged inconsistency something Prosecutor Asogi has said. Gregson's trunk.
Take that!
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction it is, certainly very heavy. What's this? A blood stain, and a relatively fresh one, too. What? You mean that ain't grease from all the box's fish and chips? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk is got in your report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it, me, with nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk, unless, of course, we were talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination for the witness, just now you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time he was making his way to the steam shop, the doctor to France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would have been put his passport?
Objection!
You carried on you. But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st of October. Where were you exactly? Exactly where you meant to say, whatever, fuck it. At the port of Dunkirk, on board SS Gross. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke? He was the assassin! Kazuma, what did you... He was the assassin, wasn't he? Remember the music box? Let me point that out. One of the names was his name. He was the other assassin. If Kazuma was on the ship, then it could only have been for one purpose. To assassinate. Oh, no, no. Surely you don't think. Come on, Ryunosuke. You know the rules. The only thing that takes to the court was hard evidence. As I understand, Inspector Gregson always took the case when he traveled. So as it stands, he proved nothing. Kazuma? Are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were there that day, in the same place as the inspector? He was there, with Gregson! Oh, baby, this clearly overlooked. The secret the trunk can tell us. I can't be sure at this point to verify. But there's a nasty feeling that I've got to be right. Well, identify the alleged clear evidence as prosecutor. So let's open up the suitcase. Open up the case. This. There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. Eh? A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the steam blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it here in this courtroom for all us to see? Exercise caution, my learned friends. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff! Watch Prosecutor Soki like a hawk! That won't be necessary. The tip of the blade! There it is. Oh no! The tip is broken. There it is. If the fragment of the metal from the trunk fits together at the end of the sword, the question of who is Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed. Kazuma Sogi. Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Sogi? Yes, on 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk. In order to carry out a mission. You were the assassin, so the additional person authorized to travel was you. Was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Shigoku. What?! You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku? Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You are never going to do it? You can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day. On 31st, I boarded the train in London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made it to the cabin deck as indicated in the plan. You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin? Exactly. He wasn't there though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent the night at the boarding house in town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house in Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in the room Frenzo Street to report failure, causing the infuriating mastermind to pull the trigger. That's a lie, of course. We know that's a lie. And end his wretched life. Nah, he would never do that. There's a real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection.
But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? I don't need to answer that. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of Japanese blade is relevant to the case, and accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on the matter. Be that as it may, the court will square the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord. The great sword Karuma has been entered in the court record, so we got the sword. We must take immediate action now to verify whether Shishiro Jikoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. Haven't you? When did the foreign dictionary invited Great Brain goes missing for 24 hours? It's only natural the question of safety should be arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Shigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has no more assassin at his disposal. He has the power and influence to give orders inside the prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? The wine. If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Oh, that's right, he would, to be fair. Order! Order in the court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Now? Guests of the Simpsons have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office, and the man can't be located within half an hour. We will have to assume the worst. Oh no, not Chichigoku! Or whatever can harm this Japanese man who delivers trapped in the country. Except that is the Reaper for the Reaper. Wanting to finish off the mark that slipped through his net 10 years ago. I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake. My lord! I sincerely hope you're successful. If you weren't able to confirm Mr. Jikoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you'll face grave difficulties. Huh? How will I know? Of course, you're in for 30 minutes. How the fuck? Okay, never mind, I guess. Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin, feels as though I'm in a nightmare. I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Chichigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further out of control. I feel it from the moment I stepped into the courtroom this morning. That strange sensation where carrying towards a foregone conclusion. Well, worst case, I might have about 30 minutes left. Fortunately, though, I don't think there's anything but options. Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear. Of course! The little Mr. Schultz doll that Edie's gave us. Looks like if he's completely run out of options, or trial today. It was full of little release his ears as hard as possibly can. Perhaps now it is the time. What should I do? Should pull the ears out. Pull! Here it goes. I'm gonna do it. Good luck. Not looking back. Heave! Oh! The scream sounded like Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellow. Here. Is the doll talking? Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can. Alright then, I'll pull it out of my strength into it. Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself and my trusty partner. Presently in the first class cabin near the SS Grouse. SS Grouse? She left over last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We were currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to undergoing half an hour again. You've taken the ship to France? Please, even at my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump in the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried to McCabe Station in the port in order to board the vessel in time. So, you mean you already worked it out? That the steamship was everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Herlock Sholmes? World famous great detective? Recite to perfection. Well done. You're a genius, Mr. Schultz. That's the only word for it. Ow, 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 ow. Mr. Susetto, just with the genius ears, please. Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. If I may, Schultz. Ah, there you are, Mikatoba. You may remember that it was I affected the connection of suppress. I Scotland Yard yesterday when we examined the notebook and recalled the steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And now he has a converted effect. Merely had our court-bound companions under my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. And if we're unable to present any leads, I'm afraid to say... Do not fret, please. Possessive purpose of partner for this journey. No doubt we shall co-organize. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from buzzing and such. Ow, 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 ow. Should be hearing anything, just keep talking about your mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea, left behind a receiver operated away in the first place. Sholmes, why should I know? It's his invention, not mine. This is the final investigation of the game. Here we go. Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of ours, Sholmes, we have half an hour before the Bruce puts its seat to it. We conclude investigation rapidly. We'll put our fans in Naples before long. Oh, Naples. There are times, Mikatoba, when you make surprising amount of sense. So, let's begin. Oh! First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is one, but I don't have investigation cabin, please. Oh, hi! We have Russian. Great. The crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Looks like he's Russian. What else I got? Here we go. Why are you loitering here? Who are you? Oh no. My dear fellow, do you recognize Wolf Famous Great Detective when you see? The question really ought to be, who are you? Do not recognize World Traveling Great Sailor? Tchikin shrugged! The chicken! Chicken! It's the chicken! Look at all those chickens! The chicken in the kitchen is strong enough. Great detective? Ah, don't think so. The chicken in the chicken. I'm sorry, it's a little inside joke. I just can't. God damn it. The chicken in the kitchen, boys. If the chicken is in the kitchen. God damn it. Such an inside joke in my family. It's kind of stupid, but I love it. See that, Mikatoba? It would appear this man's the one to follow, mine. It says Sholmes. Goodness me, it's that attack too. And it says Sholmes? Or is it by numbers? I must say, well, as I duration of flattery, naturally leaves me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave now! How distressing. My overloaded divinity knows me never my appearance. And yet, I already have a great deal of you, sir. If your brother, I believe, like yourself, is a chief of that, currently traveling the world abroad of Russia's future effect. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikatoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound to London aboard the ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers named Jigoku. There is no one with this name on board. We know they purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. He had a Dunkirk. He said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So she does realize we're after him. He has here. His cabin and the one behind you. Will you investigate, please? No! What is not even little mouse inside? Why is there a mouse trap? What's for your pet snake, too? Mikatoba, be a good man and draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make up a good excuse to leave the area. Those girls like to see that the sailors have ears both left and right. Curses! The plan is ruined! You only have yourself to blame my first Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I'm not here, you cannot get inside. Well, there isn't nothing. Mikatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock. Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'll be skied for a request, I have old friend, typically accompanied that man. How can I refuse such a typical and appealing request, old friend? So I need to distract the burly sailor in 5 seconds, do I? Good man, so the game is afoot. Alright, I'll see how we can distract them. So it's gonna be our first and our last investigation of the game. So we have a mouse trap there. This must be the mouse trap, I think. Perhaps the crew's attention somehow. Try it. That sounds like a big mouse trap. I'm putting bucket of water in the city. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow is quite convincing. If a Japanese mouse choo-choo. Really, Sholmes, I pray tell what do Russian mice sound like. Beep beep. Naturally. It was good convincing, I really meant. Go ahead, Mikatoba, do a beep beep this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come out with a solution. Let's see if this works. Oh, what's happening? What is lying? Now, Sholmes, now! Nobody did. That was close shave. In that gap, there's something so violent, barely empty corridor. Quite shows a shot thick of their approach. Wow, that didn't work. We have this here too. How? So let's see, we have the door. Our only option. Do you know what? Do you know what? This is what appeared to be an alarm bell. All hell will break loose if I ring this. Set it off! Here goes nothing. Pardon me in advance. Well, what are you doing? If you were to say, it would be a very bad problem. We're going down there. See if it's strong enough. Report at once. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It's just a stupid trick. No, not by me. By one of famous. No, as I told you. Nationals out. Done. Not even 5 seconds. Well, I don't have to stand and gobbling my brilliance, but let me go. Oh, yes. Let's get in. We had to do the same thing. Here we go. Whoa. Good gracious. It would appear that the rather occupied cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there, they should shoot us without a question. Well, it seems it's just a little too late. Yes, by 2 hours. Still, whilst you investigate, may as well 2 hours find a clue here. Barely criminating moment, Sholmes. Indeed, you may. This is more filling. So let's see what we got here. There's a speaking tube here, but it's covered with some cloth. Or maybe the voice wasn't here anywhere else? Either that, or it could have been to prevent sticks from entering. That's really becoming a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? And then we have the... Oh, we're going to reference that. According to my report, I was given Nadahoda was concealing himself in Sogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was. It was familiar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the site of my first faithful meeting with Miss Nadahoda. It was experiencing the moment yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now. You go. I'm going to take a moment. Really, Sholmes? Surely you can just tell me what I said. Well, utterly brilliant, remarkable, and wardrobe reveals the way murderer. I think I just read about the Adventure Sherlock Sholmes. So then, we got the ice, which is an interesting one. Look, it's still rubbish inside. And Dela is pregnant. Discovered recently. I sincerely hope it works yours. What's in there? Ah. Here we have an issue of passengers 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London then, and I was still aboard myself. So we got evacuation drill notice. Following departure of the Pork of Duck Group, all crew members are required to assemble the main deck. I can't even read it! Yes, as there is the evacuation drill, remember now. I read fast, but damn. However, passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew, so it was relief for privacy once. Itinerary, so maybe he used the opportunity to kill? Maybe the killer used almost likely his opportunity to escape? Quite the exclusive guys will say. But why is there still ice in this? See how it's something wrong, Sholmes. You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikatova. Ice. What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy. Chilled drinks. Pardon? Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrical refrigerated cold room? Don't you? Well, it has a luxury liner after all. They have an enormous refrigerator storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. For a voyage from Japan, we enjoy culinary delights from all over the world. Certainly Mikatova. The sight of you making my mouth water. I haven't taken the flavor of the food I ate, you know. So, this is moved completely. There's the rules of passage. Passages, yeah, we know about this. We've seen this before. Remember in the second case of the first game, if you guys remember. It's not straight into one, also it's not in the right location. So that's something. And you know, as I say in Mikatoba, there's nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my measure, but I think that might be slightly off. So... the walls are a different color, just you see there. Because that's where the sign was. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction where we've got detective on shore. He may probably be elusive fact of his plague in France's galleries as of late. I think perhaps we should folks touch ourselves for shows. That's our outline of the wall. Feels like so, same size stuff from there. Connects with this. And then we have the actual thing itself. The light. the clothes on the floor, and the same luggage. That's a very sizable trunk indeed. Yoshito's part of all those things large, but rather clumsy fella failed to notice he left thing behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose? This lighter, you think of it hinders speedy escape. Pity. It's locked. Surely a 5-second situation will be quite different, though. Sadly not, as a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in the Morse enough mood to work through combinations at present. Oh no. Hi! Hi, the Tchikin! Sorry. Tchikin. You're still here? Able seaman strong nove. Hello again. I was beginning to think you never materialized. You're waiting for me? Of course, I was expecting a bit of a hurry, Russian profanity was far sooner. It's fair trouble. Got them because of the trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. It's all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now. Of course, we shall disembark personally with the available first. There is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debarking of your descent and the barging of the teeth. Get going! I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jikoku has not yet left the vessel at all. Yeah! And for another, my dear seaman Strongnov. You know exactly where the man is, even if you speak, don't you? He's obviously in the luggage. I mean, duh. How can you? Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you worked it out, all of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for the dance of my memorable logic and reasoning? Here's the final one, boys! Nothing would please me more. Let's go. What is this? Oh, you'll see, boy. We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Oh, time is of essence, yo. Yo, yes, yo. Mr. Strong, now allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jikoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. This is a completely different deduction to one that we normally have. What did I say? Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikitoba. Then please, do take a look at the lead. What's in this cabin shows the possibility of Jikoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Let's see, the last 3 years have done to your observational skills to Mikitoba. It's been 10 years since we last did shows on 3. Well, of course it has, quite. Now, see all the clues here to cover your eyes to see. As I always say, you must really look, but observe. Observe knows answer. So impress me. I think I can manage that. Let's go. So, this time you can actually see most of the room. The ice! I mean, it's the ice. It's so obvious. It's the ice.
Take that!
It's the ice. Oh, there's the... Yo! God damn! Mikatoba! God damn, son! God damn! That tap dancing is impressive! Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that I shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Yeah! That's true. It would appear that the managed to serve his cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Get your mind out the refreshments, Sholmes. Oh, I love it. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Strongnov? Oh boy, here we go. But why would Shishido run from us? Before we consider that a question, allow me to confirm one small matter. What I've been practicing saying that his first class cabins nest is grouse, also goose again, are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jikoku accommodated the voyage to Japan. Ah, that's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Shishido was, yes, 50 days in the very cabin during our voyage, and suspected. So you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jikoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this! Ah, it's news to you, is it, Mr. Strongnov? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, traces in the cabin for this activity. Something that appears out of place, which quite sure escaped your notice. Something out of place. I know exactly what it is. That's what tells Mikitoba. A dark deed took place in here being masked with something quite incongruous. I must say, before seeing ever doing a dance seduction, you and Mikitoba. No, quite. The life full of expected twists and turns as we all know it. Now then, let's see if we can uncover the truth here. Yes, yes, with floor, my dear fellow.
Take that!
The rules of passage. Yo, I love the tap dancing. Those little passengers frame here. They're obviously out of place. Out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall. As they were put in a hurry. Yes, as I'm sure you already concluded. As the original frame, shape and size match perfectly. Da, you are right. When the frame move, hardly the most observant of crewmen. I would think your captain's quite justified in having his reservations about reliability. Oh dear, it isn't such an error. So, Mikatova, over the frame. Oh, I will lift the frame. Oh, bullet hole. That looks like a bullet hole. What was the shooting was? I see. The projectile has been removed. The careful occupant of the room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Strongneuf. I have a distinct impression you're attempting to shield the occupant. I do not know what you're talking about, but you're trying to protect Eastern stranger. Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure you gotta get the bottom of the line. Because there's no worthy evidence that explains the reason you're lying to the man. Yes, you've been told to keep this pretense as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. No, I don't know how study your subject at every angle. I'm quite sure you'll see, in fact, the glare of size. Well, it's really good. So this time you actually see most of him, instead of, like, being more limited. Hold on. So there's a bank of notes here, so... Scarf. Yeah, the banknotes. He was given a fuck ton of money. He was bribed.
Take that!
Fuck ton of money. There we go. Oh, the tap dancing always gets me. It's almost too obvious for words. The first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this dude. Universal language of the world. Money. True. Money is always everyone. You understand the language of money. Now we're to the Eastern fellow in question. It's the Shirogikoku. Yes. Yeah! So, I presume you realize those means. There is clear signs that a crime is committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. Bye-bye. I believe you know, Mr. Strongneuf. You know where Mr. Juko's hiding at this precise moment in time. Oh, you're looking somewhere. At the luggage. So it's Mikatova matters deduction of fertile glance. Yes, it's a visual. The chink in the burly fellow's armor. The Tchikin! There's a prey is hiding. So, figures with pupils. Nothing escapes my attention. You can hardly call it Berlin Sholmes. It has turned his entire head. It's not exactly what describes fertile glances. It's almost obvious. Large chunk.
Take that!
Fairly obvious. I don't have to say much about that now, do I? Duh. The hat! No. You turn immediately. Look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah! The truth is Shirogikoku was able to escape from the ship in time. And is, at the very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside the trunk. He's still on a brief to take, if you remember any others on there. I imagine he didn't count as making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think we'll be able to run messages to open the trunk as quick as possible. But how can we, forgetting the combination lock, we don't know the digit lock? That combination can be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must be an arrangement to summon a departure. Of course. In short, if Joko hid himself inside the trunk, he must have told someone the 7-digit number of the lock. AKA, the sailor. Confirmed Mr. Strongneuf. Combination. Knows like I'm a combination god. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Huh? Right there. Now, Mikatova. Maybe I'll open the trunk. Oh, whatever you expect me. The 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, we have a little time. Okay, so let's check. So review scene. So it's 5, 4, 0, 1, 3, 6? No, there's no 6. 2, right? So let me see. Hold on. Alright, let me see. Okay, so let me see. So, okay, so 5. Okay, so let me see. It's 5, 4. Wait, 5, 2, 3, 1. Okay, I messed it. Yeah, it's wrong. Okay, so it's 5, Sholmes. So it's 5401325. 5401235. Let me see if that's right. Alright, let me review that. 5401325. Right? Is this it?
Take that!
Damn it! It was reverse. Shit, it was a reverse. Yeah, I realized it. It was a reverse. It was a reverse. Yeah. I realized it. Yeah, fuck. That's a measure of functions. So it's the other way around. Yeah, it's the other way around. Oops. It's the other way around. So it's 5, 2, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5, right?
Take that!
This should be it. There we go. Yeah, it was a reverse. I make that mistake. There we go. Click. We got it. There we go. That did it. It opened. You had to meddle, didn't you? There he is. Well, Eugen, you found me now. Shishiro. I love how he straight up just like managed to put his big ass body in there. Very impressive, to say the least. I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. Nope, quite. I just wish there was another way. Well, are you going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes, and restores me your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jikoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil's in the details, Kotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. Who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word anyone into sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Shishiro, are you going to explain all of this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What are you doing? Of course, just 3 days ago, on the night before arrival in Britain. An attempt to make a life here on our ship by the Reaper the Bailey. Yes, as it's heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, you're gonna arrive in London to find the suit was postponed until goodness knows when. It became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word about it. I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. And more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So the protagonist of some colorful short stories, well, I don't care about your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket and here I am. Again? I just seen it myself, so obviously reminiscent of that incident in this cabin. You already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else from taking his cabin, seeing the evidence. Is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off on word voyage and port again into Italy. I'm afraid we must assist you to disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Shishiro. Take it. Oh, you're getting pissed, bro. What is it? It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. I did. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it? Sholmes. Inside Mr. Jikoku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket. Oh, shit! What is that, Shishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. Stop. But what, I have no idea. I think I know what it is. But look at his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. But I do. Well, let us pocket to the small souvenir at a brief show to advance. The small components. Says the point. Well, young Naruhodo, equipped as much as I'm afraid. The rest will be your shoulders and your assistant. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end it right here for now, because this trial's already getting pretty long. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the subscribe button. And next time we're going to go ahead and do the next part of the trial. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye.